One question that pops up a fair bit is how do you know when you just need to keep on grinding through or when it's time to pivot the business?
I don't think there's an easy answer for that. I would say being really realistic would probably be what I would say to that. And again, this has come through our failures and learning, which is when we were in the position looking at what's now become our business. It's very easy to look at what's happening and be unemotional and completely realistic and look at what the future looks like. We can see kind of 6 months ahead typically, or at least, a number of months ahead. And that's usually a combination of income, deal flow, for example, like what are the leads like, who are you talking to, what's the product doing. If you're doing that and it's all literally mostly we'll do this with product, or we'll assume that one big partnership's going to change everything, these would be like red flags for me, which is, I think it says a guy Kawasaki that said partnerships are for losers. And you can kind of see because it sort of plays into that idea that, well, the business sucks right now. We've got nothing, but we'll just get that one big client and everything will take off. Well, I would argue, let's plot down your projected income realistically for the next 6 months. And if it's zero and there is no path to getting to $10 or $15, because the other thing that happens as well, and we see this now, and some of the people that I kind of mentor and speak to and advise, is they're looking at $1 million or whatever in 12 months time, and yet they've not charged anyone for a single penny yet. And I've still kind of struggled with that sometimes because there's almost like a shyness around selling. I don't know whether that comes from the engineer perhaps, who's maybe a bit not ashamed but dubious to start charging for something that they feel is yet incomplete perhaps, or they just don't have experience in sales. It's probably a blend of things. And I'm not speaking ill of engineers. I'm just saying, again, with the co-founder piece, you need someone or in the team who can pick up the slack with that and say, if I'm a really good tech person, I need someone who's got a stone wall approach to nailing deals and is in for that. So I'd be looking at where you're at and just literally realistically saying, how do I get to milestone number one? And that milestone, again, for us, we literally just said, if we can get to £1,000 a month, that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
We're asking ourselves these huge questions just yet, because if you can get to £1,000, there's your answer, right? It's like, okay, well, there's nothing here then, is there? If we can't figure that out, then we're kind of screwed. We do really. We're definitely not going to get to, hundreds of thousands a year and onwards. It's going to be quite a struggle. Mm-hmm. And we did exactly that with the payment side. Although that still lives on now and it's a supplementary piece to our business, if we'd have relied solely on that, I think we would have fallen into, well, one, it just wouldn't have been enough to get to survive for long enough to stay in the game. And two, would have fallen into the trap, like you mentioned at the beginning, which is we'd be another service that can offer auxiliary services around payment. Yes, we're in a unique market. We might have a unique point of view. And that's not to say we could have gone full category design on that as well. Mm-hmm. We perhaps may have done, but we just didn't see it being as worthwhile. There wasn't really a business case there for that. And again, too much of that particular approach was based on the product of another partner. In this case, it was Stripe. Since then, we've evolved it and we've got loads of our own services that run through payment. So if Stripe said tomorrow, see you later, we'd be okay. But back then, it was like we and Stripe are inseparable. So if Stripe suddenly kicks us off the platform, our rodeo stops completely. So you don't really want to be in that position while not earning any money, while not being different, and you're just kind of like, yeah, this is probably not going to work.
How many red flags do you want someone to wave? Like that's.
Yeah, I mean, looking back now, it's really easy, and I'm glad we did that, because there were times where we were even pitching for funding and to be part of an accelerator, and we had a slide deck that had the the transaction volume through the platform in a 12-week period, it was hundreds of thousands. It went like from zero, so boom, up and to the right. And we were buying into our own sort of, collateral, almost like our own confidence. We were like, this is working. People have raised money for less than this. Like, look at this thing, and like showing this giant slideshow. But then behind that is, okay, how much would we have to turn over here to earn our 3% commission or whatever else? How many people can we convince to give us a subscription that's really worthwhile? How long would that take? And we looked at it and said, probably not going to work. The final thing on the partner side was we did that. We did exactly that, which is we found someone who said, we've got 300 businesses that would like to use your services. Let's partner. We did that, and guess how many came back and actually used our services?
How many?
One. One.
Oh, that's a killer.
That was where we went, right, okay, so this is where we're at. It's not urgent enough. It's not a big enough problem. Yeah, it's probably not going to work. We need to change something here.
But you said when you made that pivot, the last pivot into being payments and people and the regulatory side of things, the phone was ringing off the hook. Is, I think, for someone who has yet to find product market fit, what does product market fit feel like? Because you definitely would have experienced it in that moment.
We did feel a little bit of product market fit with the payment stuff, which is again why this is again, it's like an art, not a science. It's a difficult thing to quantify. There's gut feel in there as well, and the realism side of it, and there's a passion piece as well, which is, by this point we didn't really even know what would work. We just sort of said we're at the mercy of the market, because the market's going to tell us whether we've built something useful. So even with the people side, the due diligence piece, we'd done that, I guess, assuming strategically that that would be something that would be useful. But you're still waiting for that feedback. It's really when you feel true pull from your client. And because you could argue we were right place, right time, and we'd attached our little product at the time to something that we know would be urgent, unavoidable, and quite unique in this space, we'd kind of gone, if that's not going to work, then I'll be surprised. But still being able to step back if it didn't work out, because it could have easily just gone, COVID came at the wrong time, no one cares, nothing happens. But with this market in particular, product fit for us was somebody who is progressive wanted to solve the problem. They solved it. We helped them solve it. They told their friend next door, who's also quite progressive. And what happened is we were early enough and active enough in the space, as in like listening and building and, client number one, Ryan, okay, what can we do better here? What's your team internally telling you that they need to achieve? And we leveraged all the consultancy experience at this point. But we didn't bloat the product too much. So we were listening, but we just said, how can we take all that feedback and build the best product for this particular need, not build something for everybody? Because again, we've made those mistakes. So product market fit for us felt like we were actually having people pulling us, ringing us, not the other way around. We weren't the ones knocking on the doors with the royal warrants and saying, hey guys, do you want to do this thing with this thing? They were calling us. People were quoting our name as people who were actually helping with certain things.
Right.
We, most importantly, were receiving income from it. That it was valued. That's the biggest pull of all. If someone says to you, I'm going to give you X amount of money per month, every month, and I'm going to sign a contract with you, that, I don't know what else you would need to tell you that someone's taking your thing seriously. And that, again, why it confuses me sometimes that people shy away from charging for stuff, because if you open that door and say, do you care enough to kind of vote with your feet and actually give me that or give us that revenue and commit to it, it is a commitment. And that pull and the commitment to us said, we've got market fit here. We've listened to the need. People are paying for it. People are using it and fixing a real problem. How do we make sure we can take as much of the market as possible? And yeah, that's basically it.
Hey, it's Ryan here. If you liked that video, please click the like and subscribe button somewhere down there and check out the full interview right over here. Go on, click it. You know you want to.